Alright. Hello, welcome back to another week and another Friday night with me, Foxy. We got a bit of a different game for you tonight. It's less of a game and more of an experience, this one. We're going to be playing through the entirety of the beginner's guide. I played this about when it first came out, but I do not remember anything about it, other than the fact that there's someone called Coda. So, this is kind of a blind playthrough. I might remember some things from it as I play through it, but I don't know. We'll find out. So I think with that out the way, we're gonna keep the little music off for this stream as well, and we'll just get straight into this. Card off and jump into the game. Audio is on. Please let me know if my audio is too quiet or too loud. This ID and the left mouse button is all I need.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda.
Thanks, guys.
Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games.
The floating crate.
I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
I'm probably
As
not
each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
The whisper machine. Oh, this is intense. Is she gonna go this way?
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Ah, okay. So I couldn't have gone that way anyway. They both lead to the same path. So it seems like there's only one way to go through this.
Hostile alien life forms inbound.
Oh.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
That's quite an important message, what you just said there.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Skyboxes. Love that. See the top as well? No. It's just the bottom. Can you go this way? Ah. Oh, it's a maze.
Apparently the space station has a labyrinth on it.
Yes,
Sure,
you are a cube.
There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh. Oh, okay. Actually, can I go back? Oh, I can.
Or, if you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too.
No, I'm not gonna go through it. QBNB, yes. No, I'm not gonna go through it.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Crystals are the crystal skies are they.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering a whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Sure. Oh, it literally does kill you.
Pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Yes, it just rotates you. Oh. Okay.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay, November 2008.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Ah, okay. He's good at finishing project. What?
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative.
This is actually really cool.
It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
So it's a staircase, but the future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it? Should I go back down?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. didn't need anything more than that.
Well, that's so trippy.
Which to me
yeah,
is
that's
why it
cool.
works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Another one from November 2000. Okay. Do I just walk? You can see the edge of the world. You are now entering. Is that it?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay. Alright, we're in December of 2008 now.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Nonsense in nearly every direction.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Am I getting slower? I feel like I'm getting... Yeah, I'm definitely getting slower.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. Right, so I'm back at... Okay, so I can go up into the room now. It's just like a homely room. Whoa. What is this room? Beautiful with chairs, one is floating.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Let's try pressing U.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that
like
he was
this one.
actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Wow. Okay, this game, it's already, like, impressing me. Alright, so what's this? I think this was January 2009. Ready, set, fish. Now, if any normal developer made this, it would be about fishing. But because this is Coda, I'm already getting the sense that this will have nothing to do with fish. Drop down.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
What is this? It's a lever. Some sort of puzzle. Anything out here? Got an idea. Hold on. Give me a second. What if I close that and then go through the door? Aha! There we are.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Alright. Is that gonna shut? Yeah.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Whoa! Oh my... What? There's so much!
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not
This is
to
amazing.
understand, then what is it?
Alright, January 2009. Oh, it's the You're Entering game again. Except you are now exiting.
So
Okay.
this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Wow. Okay, so March 2009 we're into now. The Great and Lovely Descent. Whoa, this is it's just a white room. I'm very much enjoying
Let's
this
talk
so
about
far.
video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of
Street
tools for
Lights
game
or-
development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games
I
are
can
set in
crouch.
these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
What is this? I'm sorry. What is this? Whoa. Ah. I'm not dead. There's no fall damage apparently. That's good. Okay. Should I just make my way down the staircase? It keeps going. What's this in here? Is that a light? I assume it's some kind of light. I think I need to lay down. This feels like illusions. Yeah, this is a really weird game. Okay, the gate's open. Oh, there's a heartbeat. Can I get around this? No, I can't. Oh, we're going up. Alright.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
What? Should we just sit here for an hour and see if anything happens? Because I'm willing to if you guys are. Like, will I get anything if I sit here for an hour? Like, is there more dialogue, or...? Because I really want to find out if there is, but I also don't want to waste time if there isn't. So, willing to just talk for an hour, then sure. Provided you have... I have things that... I do not think so. Okay, we're gonna move on then, because... Oh, I can't. I wanted to...
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
That's... Wow. I don't really have words for that, it's just quite incredible. It is, yeah, it's very iconic. Hero, yes. You go this way? Oh, no, crouch. Can I uncrouch? Thank you. Lighting. What? Where are we? Oh, it's the door again!
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Man, that is the quickest succession I've ever had those in.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very
cool,
shortly.
we're being spammed with bots today. Give me a moment. Right, I've added a block term, there we go, that should fix it. Right. Okay, back to the actual game now. Sorry, I was just adding that as a block term, just so I can't get more bots attacking me. It's not really an attack, but you get the point. It's that type of thing. I shouldn't be able to get any more of those now. Anyway, a long hallway. We're still going down. Ooh, NPCs.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
What's all above? You've been there. Did you have to get through a puzzle with... Yes, I did. Please tell us how you solved it. I don't remember. I do remember though. Why can I not say how I solved it? What significance does this puzzle have that I'm not allowed to speak the solution? I'm just gonna say that one. So you learn nothing. Cannot help us escape this prison. You're not the one I need. Surely there'll be someone else. More NPCs. Hello, how'd you get here? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? Why would I care about the space? Okay, I want to ask that one. You'll see it again. So is there going to be another one of the puzzles? Okay. Such a weird game.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
This has been the longest one yet. Actually, hold on before I go there. I want to know if I missed anything. No, just a wall. Okay. I'm loving the soundtrack to this as well. It fits the mood perfectly. Just got an apartment complex.
It's a lamppost.
It is.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
I can't go back to where I was. And then the game fades out. April 2009. If you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. But surely they can't be, because... Nice room. Not. Aw.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda.
No point.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
I want to read all
Either
of them.
way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
This game is not nice. I would like it when I could. Do you feel like a hero yet?
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I'm crying on fire. Oh my god. I just saw a flying penguin. It's like the most majestic thing I've ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing will be as majestic as that. I never want to see again if nothing will be as that beautiful again. I'm not crying and planning. Oh, keeping my eyes out. I must now go do that. That's a bit extreme. Do not be afraid. Do care. Yeah, do care about people. Yeah. I love that wooden grass and concrete here. What the fuck? Oh, that's just a stroke. Hey Sky, if you're still here, this message is for you. Is this cabin? Boring. Not really. I can assure you, guarantee there's an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors are looking for it. Can't read. Yes, that is my message. It was just someone having a stroke on the keyboard. Yeah, it's just looking for someone to talk with. Aww. I refuse to believe. But thank you. That's some classic 2009 internet right there. Let's go frickin' bathroom. Recognize me, please. There's nothing here. Go back. Well, obviously is. Don't listen to that guy. It's the same person. What's up with this? A free t-shirt. Makes game, includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. Open sesame. Door, how open? Someday I will meet the person who... That's a weird one, because he is the person who made this. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. Whoa. Oh my god. What? I know I'm like getting amazed at this a lot, but this is so bizarre to me. Do you hear the chimes? They keep going. They keep you going, don't they? I would very much like to be desired. It's not very crowded here. Scared of writing something, don't want to feel judged. A game where you leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. Don't bother. You can go in here, I think. Welcome, congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. I failed to write anything here. I am compelled. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. No, I'm not turning back. This game is fascinating to me. Take my hand, let's jump together. Okay. I can't. Can I get over there? Cabin shapes that name. Okay. What is that painting? I don't know, just got a bunch of paint splotches. Does not matter if you ever get over there. You don't talk about me that way. Sorry. Very good game. I think this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. That's a good attitude to have. I need someone to talk to. Oh. This is a no. Some of these are really depressing and then other of them are just butt-ass butt. Don't listen to the other notes. I'm not safe. Yeah, that's my point. Some of these are like really menacing. Some of them are just completely innocent. Today I learned you cannot fall off. Aww. Ethical. This game kind of feels like a vent game. Potentially. I saw a person walking down there, now it won't come back. Devil Tower Star. Oh, there's whispering. It's not how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Stop pretending you are other people. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. I assume that one's in reference to the painting. We will all die someday. Who are all of you? It's all Coda. Well done, all of you. He's addressing himself as multiple people. Whoever made this has issues. Painting, what does it mean? Probably nothing. I don't know, there might be a meaning to it. Stop faking. Some of these are genuinely, like, really quite deep. Art. Hey guys, how's it just hanging? How's it going? Just hanging. Help, I'm trying to speak. It's about how things look messy from close up and perfect from far away. Wow. From up here it just looks like dots. It does, but from back there it looked really nice. Cabbage Shapes Our Nation. That's the second time we've seen that one. Devil Tower Star. That was just over here, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Somewhere. I swear I've seen that one before as well. Maybe I'll feel real someday. Damn. Cabbage does shape our nation, yes. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. Help, I'm trying to sleep. Hey, shut up. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. Once again, addressing himself as multiple people. Must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. It's too fucked. I need to get to this game. I beat the game! No, you didn't. There's still more, look. More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
I've seen everything, I've traveled the world, I've never told anyone. I wish there were notes in the real world. Become one with the spiraling nonsense. Ooh, the whispering's getting louder. Downward.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Oh, it is the door, yeah! Does this puzzle have a solution? Literally for now, what do I do? Help! Help! Doesn't make any sense, the second door won't open. Shit, how do you solve it? Developer, answers please.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between the spaces, Before you move
It's not
on,
so
you
bad.
get to
Yeah.
pause.
I'm heading back to the start. Later,
Just
guys.
for a moment,
Maybe that's alright, Drew.
a few seconds to reflect
answer,
on
I think.
and let go
There
of
is
the
no
events
second
that led you
switch.
here.
No
To
solution.
step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive
And
bigger
one
picture.
more note. One last note. Oh, that's typewriters. How do you leave notes? It's just a room filled with typewriters. All of them motionless. Are you there? Oh, I'm getting chills. Oh, that gave me chills. I've got goosebumps. Oh.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kinda just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Right, I'm gonna take a very short break myself because I need to go grab a drink because my throat is absolutely dying. But we'll be back momentarily, so do stick around. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I have a drink now, so hopefully I'm not going to actually die, baby. Ah, here we go, end of the stream. So let's pause our music and jump back into the game. Okay. This is this it? I see something over there. There's a lamp. Oh, I can go this way. Oh, cool wall design. Painting. Oh, is this what I could see out of the window? It's the same wall again. Is this an infinite loop? Oh, no, it's... Wait.
See, like, this is it.
I'm at the
whole
bottom of the
game.
well.
And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay, but the assets just aren't here. Put a giant hole in the ground. That's not what I said. It's like a washing machine. That's sofas. Live Tesla coils, that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, it's just loading in the room I was just in. Pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference. Whoa!
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything.
What?
It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
What is this?
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Please walk forward. Another white space. Sky will need to escape any prison environment. Take care that you remember each step. Click on the table. Photo frame, this one. The floor lamp. Left side sofa and move it a little. Finally touch the shelves. Alright, now return back to here. Fade out. Right, so it was...
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Ah!
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
Oh my god, this
Let me
is
just
weird.
walk you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling
No
through their
picture, I
work.
can't do it.
And for what? Like, at what point do you just go,
Oh, the door!
Maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on.
And now it's back to the well.
But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular
Whoa.
mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
What? Then how is it the prison game? If the prison's not in it, how is it the prison game? What? There's the lamppost again, yeah. And the door was seen earlier, so... Okay. Hello? Who is this? You have to escape from the prison. That's my only option.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know,
Yeah.
all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
I kind of miss being in the prison. True, maybe I only like things once I don't have them anymore. Well, I knew its limits, I knew my place. But don't you feel excited about getting out? The promise of freedom? Excited is the only thing that matters to me. It's the only thing keeping me going. Excited doesn't really do it justice. I understand how this is a prison game now. You just have to... You just have... You have something to care about, something to look forward to. Yeah. Wait, if you're me... When did you get... Then did you get a call from another version? Yes, I did, because that's the instructions to get out. I don't have that option. You can't know until you're out. Just talk to me. Yeah, we'll go that one. Okay, I can talk. Let's just talk for a bit. Will you be here? I'll be here for as long as you need. And then the game's gonna end, isn't it? Yep.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. It would be.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
August 2009. This game didn't have a title.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Oh, thank goodness, I'm glad little Hecky showed up. And some hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
There's the table. Went into the bedroom and do the bed. This one? Yeah. Straighten out the rug. Felt so good doing some money. Put this couch to come out and straighten out the pillows. Aww. Yeah, I'll try to get by. No, it's stupid, sorry. Never mind. Dishes need to be washed. There we are. Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. No need to be perfect. Books, 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 books. There we are. Wow. Looks so much nicer. I mean, could have... I'd already
After the
done
intense
that.
set of
What?
prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you. and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Few of them will stick out as truly wonderful and beautiful experiences. And none of them will be the ones that are easy.
I know that Coda really liked this game.
This
Of
was
all
a
his
rock in
work,
the bed.
actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Oh yeah, when I said I had a really cheesy thought. Take care of it and it take care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. There is some truth in that though. I wouldn't particularly say that it's always a house, but there's definitely some important meaning in that somewhere. It's everyone has a place that they call home, in my opinion. It doesn't have to be
I'm glad he found some peace.
the house you grew up in or the house you live in now if you've moved out, or hell, it could be a person. For some people, I know it is. It could be anything. It could be any number of things. What people consider home. Question.
But,
You enjoy
of
it?
course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave.
Oh.
The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep
Oh, there's
moving.
no walls
It's
on
how
this
you stay alive.
house. Okay. So. Wow. Okay, that game was. Wow. I don't really have. Yeah, the door's just. And we're at the lamppost.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move.
Yeah.
I really thought that was the point of it.
Thought. September.
This
20
one gets a bit goofy.
2009. Is it to improve your life? Is it to get a better job? Is it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right. Who do you think about that way in your life? Who do you know who's well developed as a person and make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. The question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game, the perspective
Being
shifts.
perfect is effortless.
And you play
What
as the teacher.
fuck?
Suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
I'll go up here. Oh. I do not promote drugs, but that's a good line. Everyone run.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
Perfection.
To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
And
I
that's
think
it.
about this game a lot these days.
That's the end of the game. January 2010. Oh, it's the prison furniture again.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
There's a stage. Oh my god, that scared me. The performance is beginning. Places, please. In the scene, you'll be playing as me. You're at a gathering of professionals. We'll start out leaning against this wall. Oh, this music is making me really anxious. Oh. To learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. It's not a conversation. It's a start of one. Be a human being. Do it again. Wise. Happy. Focused. Successful. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, just that one moment, I was confident. Have we some props to work with? There's cones that bounce. Whoa! Can I... I'm messing it all up again. You'll figure out if the conversation gets personal that quickly. I didn't realize how important this was to me. Try stepping back from the stake. Okay. Right, I'm going back. Oh. Okay. Do I just keep going back? Oh, the lampost's there again!
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very helpful when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
I don't like this audio. Oh my god, thank god that game ended.
What can you do?
Oh, that was
After
giving me
this,
goosebumps.
Coda
shivers.
went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Okay, June 2010. Play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Right, I've got my eyes closed. Is anything gonna happen? Like audio cues or anything? Hello? The music just restarted.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Right, go,
And
go,
there is a solution, by the way.
Go here. Speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these. Yes! Okay. I knew it. That's the truth. It's draining me.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, He's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
So we're gonna be like, yeah, December 2010. So another, basically 5 or 6 months. What is this? Oh, whoa! Okay, so talking makes me progress. It's been a long time since I've talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. When I try to create, I feel empty. Okay, so yeah, talking makes me progress. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? I'm trying to use this engine to protect me, to start it again. You're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
First, you have to open the door. Okay, now what? You have to close the first door. It's not going to be there. Oh, it is there. Now press the switch here. And there we go.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Can you hear something crying? You just have to open the door. Why did I feel so awful when I said that? Oh, this game. This game. Press the switch. Stamped with whiteness.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me.
It does. It
I was
still
watching
does.
him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like,
Not a good take.
video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop
It's the
than
prison!
anything. I
Again!
never felt so right.
There's someone
I
inside
needed
it.
more than I had ever needed anything for this
And there's
to
the
stop.
lamppost again. Can I go under there? No, I can't. And if I walk to the
But it
bars,
didn't
goes.
stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Okay. May 2011. I feel like we're nearing the end of the game now. The machine. God. Hello. I'm glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. We begin the interrogation. Intent to be quiet. Someone called the press. We might have a bit of attention on the scene. The machine calls itself Coda. That's the guy behind these games, is it not? Please, no pictures. So this is Coda.
And of course, it's the machine.
Your work is keeping us alive. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving. What is this game? No? Nothing? I don't want to threaten him. I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. The lights are off and the door opens. And we're on a stage. My friends. It falls on me to deliver the bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. We'll find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Well, I don't want to do either of these. I don't want to destroy the machine, and I don't want to destroy what it's created. These are Coda's games that's created, right? It's referencing Coda's games in the second one. And I don't want to destroy Coda either. Is the character I'm playing as symbolizing Davy? Sorry, I might just be spitballing completely nothing here. But from what I'm gathering from the past few games, it appears that Coda doesn't want Davy going through their games? The stage, again! Music's faded out. I have a gun. Oh. I'm literally destroying the yeah. I'll make sure you're known forever. I don't want to destroy him.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
This is the gun from the very first game. This is the room with the stairs at the top of the stairs.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
It's the machine again. So what happens now? Put down your weapon. I don't want to do this. I don't want to shoot it. I know there's no other option. Yeah, I can't look around.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good. That I am
I can't
good.
move, I can't jump,
When someone
crouch.
really
I can
connects
crouch.
with a thing that I've made, when they see
But it
themselves
shoots in the
purely in
same
my
spot.
work, there's nothing that feels better. And
It is
I
destroying
got to
it.
give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend
it's
who was
wearing
in
it away
trouble
more and
and
more.
was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
The music is building. And there it is.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
This game has been fascinating. June of 2011. The Tower. The final game.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, The Tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Okay, let's have a look at it.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Whoa! Ah!
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the
Okay,
experience is
I wish
really
someone had
miserable.
warned me about that.
The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue,
fuck.
press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Thank you. Don't know why I walked back into that for a third time. I'm okay, I'm okay.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Is there something...
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code.
Oh, it's random.
Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 6, 1, 5, 6, 7. Hey Ult! Welcome. We're playing the beginner's guide. I think I'm nearing the end of it. This has been an absolutely fantastic game. I have loved every minute of this. It's been brilliant. What time is it? Oh, it's just gone 11. Okay. And we're in a room.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Alright. So where's the switch? Here it is. Yeah, okay. Can I fall? I can't fall.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this
It's
person
from the
is.
same person. It's
It
the same
wasn't
narrator.
the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
There is a deeper meaning to this, but there's gotta be. There's no way there isn't. Ooh, cool lights. I'm like a puppy, Jesus Christ.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Such a long climb up this tower.
Where did I screw up?
I don't know. I'm assuming that the point where you showed Coda's games to everyone was not what he wanted. Did they be?
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Damn. Thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore. It's because he showed Coda's games to people, and I don't think Coda wanted others to see them. They were his
I don't
outlet.
think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I often wonder, at times, what do you think I'm making these games for you? No, he made them for himself. Coda made these games for himself. They acted as an outlet for him.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've infected my personal space, that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere. Hidden between games. The door and the lamppost. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. As I said, Coda's games were an outlet for him. Would you stop changing my games, stop adding lampposts to them? The lampposts were from Davy, not Coda.
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people.
Let them be what they are.
I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing.
When I'm around you, I
What does
feel
that
physically
mean?
ill. You desperately need something and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. That's very true. Everyone has high and low days. Provided you don't let the low days get to you, you'll be fine. You'll be able to keep going and power through whatever it is that's keeping you down. Just, there is always light at the end of the tunnel, for everyone. Sometimes it'll take longer than others for you to get there, but keep believing, keep remembering good times that you had in the past, and keep hold of something that you have to look forward to. It will really help you. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than me. I realize this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. Ooh, that soundtrack.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling. The game's starting to decay and fall apart. And you finally see what I'm talking about. Don't say anything. We've got to solve the puzzle one final time. There's no switch. I've just locked myself in the dark
That's
room.
why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was.
The room's getting
I
smaller.
want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be
Getting
okay.
smaller. Is that it? Is that everything? The epilogue. There's one more section then. There must be. Okay, where are we going? It must be this way. There's no other way I can go.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
I can hear the people, but there's no one anywhere.
Solution.
Step off the train and enter a new world. There's deeper meaning to everything here. I feel like this game has a deeper meaning that I'm getting spoiler for myself because I haven't played the earlier part of the game. It does. There's no way this whole game doesn't have a deeper meaning.
That he just really enjoyed making prison games. Maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Those games were his outlet, and Davey took that away from him by taking his outlet and showing it to people. It's like if you wrote in a diary and someone took that diary and showed it to a bunch of people you don't know.
Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
And a dark door at the end of the hallways. With nothing. A cabin. This is like a backrooms level, Jesus. All of this is just... It's just... There's no way to describe it.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Pathway.
What now?
Yeah, what now? I don't know, Davey. You're the one who's...
I think I need to go.
Yeah, you've driven Coda away.
I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna... Okay.
Now where are we? So, Desert Temple? Desert Ruin? Looks like it. Pass through the arches, and I assume they'll lead me somewhere. There's nowhere else I can go. So why not here? Why not to where this bizarre experience is leading me? To a hole in the ground. Nothing more. We fall. And we end here, somewhere that I assume is going to raise to the point where I can get through this door. Through? We can. Does this keep raising? No, it stops. And we're back here. Where we started. It's all been one long loop. This looks like the area we started in. The train station. If I turn back after getting through this hall and there's a wall behind me, the game, it's a hallway. Nothing more. Just a long, empty hallway. And it's slowly... There's lightning, but the sky is clear? I think that's just the skybox, like slightly going grey. Wait, is that the Whisper Machine from like the first game? It is. It is! very first game. It's the Whisper Machine. Do I float again if I hit this? No, I don't. I do. So what do I see? Nothing. I see nothing. No, I see an infinite maze. With no ending. This is insane. Just look at this. Still going up. And is that it?
Turn
That's
back,
it. Well,
turn back from this cave.
wow.
You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep
It
going.
would not have been possible. It's my favourite moment from any game ever. Just that last bit with the infinite maze. Turn back.
And miles and miles. And you're so tired, but I know that you're strong.
Look at I truly like the floating maze.
So turn
I can understand why. It's got a lot of power. You should. This is a fantastic experience. I've enjoyed every moment of this. There hasn't been one part of this game that I haven't enjoyed. So I assume this has been the beginner's guide. Yeah, and the game just takes us back to the title screen. Wow. That... I don't really know what to say. This has been the beginner's guide. This has been an amazing experience. I'm so glad to have played this. To have revisited this after, like, I think 4 years? Coda wasn't a real person. I assumed not. It's such a powerful experience, this. Like, there's certainly a much deeper meaning to this than you could find at, like, a first playthrough. But it's insane. This game is... I'm sorry, it's really hard to describe this, because this is unlike anything I've really played before. This has been such an incredible experience. It's a bit longer than I thought it was, but I'm glad, because, as I said, this has been amazing. I definitely advise anyone here who has not played this to go and experience the game for yourself, and so you can get your own opinion on it and have your own views and see what you think about it, because everything in this game, I think, can be interpreted completely differently by a different person. It's just... I don't know how to describe it. It's just been amazing. This has been the beginner's guide. I started late, and The game's been a bit longer than I expected, so I think we are gonna actually end this stream here. So I think the creator said he made this to describe what he was feeling after making the Stanley Parable. That makes sense, because the Stanley Parable is another very bizarre game. There isn't much explanation to it. So it's been brilliant. So thank you to everyone who came by and experienced this with me today. So much love to you all. It's been amazing experiencing this with you, and I will look for more things like this in the future. If you have any recommendations, leave them in my Discord server's Stream Relevant Stuff channel, and I will surely look into them and see which ones of these we can play for another Friday Nights with Foxy. With that, drop me a follow if you haven't already. It takes a moment of your time and really does help me out a lot. We're trying to hit 100 by the end of the year. I have not played Superliminal, but it has been on my radar for a while. I might get that and play that at some point soon. And with that, I've been Foxy. Thank you all one last time. Good night.